Empire. Welcome to the Football Jones podcast. I am Mike Jones. Welcome back to another episode. You can read me at usatoday.com. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @ByMikeJones. Week 10 NFL action. Another fascinating week. We saw a number of upsets. We had the Falcons beating the Saints, had the Titans beating the Chiefs, had the Browns winning at home, snapping their 4-game losing streak, beating the Bills, had the Dolphins winning 2 in a row, the Steelers beating the Rams, Vikings winning on the road, all kinds of crazy action. Man, I tell you what, if this is any indication, the final stretch, the last, month and a half of the NFL season is going to be pretty entertaining. One thing that's very interesting, that a lot of these teams that were successful today and have been successful for much of the season is that they are bucking a trend. This is supposed to be a passing league, but a lot of the top teams are doing it on the ground. They've got strong rushing attacks. Sure, you got to throw the football, but they're strong rushing attacks, and that's how they're setting the tone for their offenses. And so for today's episode, I wanted to talk to former Washington Redskins and Denver Broncos running back Clinton Portis. Talk to him about the emphasis on the run and why teams are starting to incorporate the running back more and more. That's the way it was in the 90s and the early 2000s. Then, in the last, decade or 5 years, the running back has been de-emphasized. And, it's a position that teams don't want to pay for a whole lot. But now we're starting to see it trend the other way, where teams are realizing, hey, strong running game is your quarterback's best friend, and these running backs can be used in more than just a running role. They can be used as pass catchers. And so we're going to talk to Clinton Portis about that for this week's episode. A lot of insightful information from Portis. Here we go. All right, what's up, CP? How you doing, man?
Good, man. What's going on?
Oh, man, just wanted to talk to you about the state of the running back. For the last several years, it seemed like the running back was going out of style, and now, it's still a passing league, but it seems like it's almost like there's more of an emphasis on the run this year. I wonder what you think of that.
Well, I just think the running back has always been a high-value position. If you look at the teams that play in the Super Bowl, they always have running games. You look at the Rams, you look at the New England Patriots, you look at the Saints almost getting there. Some of the teams that get to the Super Bowl, they always have running games. A lot of these teams are to the point that they take on the assumption of passing your quarterback needing to throw the ball 45 and 50 times a game, and you don't have a tier 1 quarterback. You don't have the best quarterbacks in the NFL, so you need to put the ball in your best player hands, as you see with Christian McCaffrey. Cam Newton goes down, and everyone would think the Carolina Panthers are in trouble. And on the other side, it's like the change of guard, because Christian McCaffrey has done everything possible to keep those guys in contention. And a lot of the credit always goes to the running backs. People look at, Kyle Allen, he's doing such a good job. You look at all the teams that stepped up where they have a young quarterback that stepped in, they got a running game. Outside of Arizona with Kyler Murray, who added Kenyon Drake, which was a huge pickup for them, because Kenyon Drake came out and had 100 yards in his first game. You look at the other quarterbacks, everybody has a running game, and that's where they are successful. And teams overlook the fact that you still have to stop the run. And, so many teams just go to pass happy that is not conducive to win. Every time you look up, it's 45 or 50 attempts by a quarterback who probably should be handing the ball off 45 or 50 times a game.
Yeah, so, what do you think it is this year? Are people starting to get it? Like last year, there was only 9 1,000-yard rushers. Now we're on pace to have 15 of them. and a number of them are just, let's see, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 of them are like 200 yards away from 1,000 yards already halfway through the season.
Well, again, I think it's the realization of everyone always copies the Super Bowl winning formula. Every year, it's the how did this team win the Super Bowl, which has been the New England Patriots, and they win however they choose. They just win games. It doesn't matter who gets the credit, who gets the fame and glory. Week in, week out, it's a different player that you never heard of that comes out and destroy you when it comes to them. So every team kind of copies that formula. Oh, we're going to run the ball. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And I think you're seeing so many guys move around because that pass-happy league isn't working. That pass-happy league isn't working. When you get to this time of year when it starts to get weather games, it's cold, it's snowing, it's rainy, it's slushy, you're on the road, you're up in the Northeast, you're in these cold stadiums, you're going to have to run the ball. And I think when you look at the Green Bay Packers, one of the most improved teams in the NFL, what did they do different for Aaron Rodgers? Run the ball. Their best wide receiver has been out. Although Aaron Rodgers has been playing great, they gave him a running game. Not only did they give him one running back, they gave him two backs, in Jones and Williams, who's capable of bailing them out. And then they're both useful in the passing game. So I think when you look at teams now, the West Coast offense and whatever was going on, all of a sudden teams are starting to get the ball in the running back's hands early and say, hey, let this guy make a play because we know he's capable. So if you put a running back in space and you hit him coming downhill, that's a hard guy to tackle compared to putting a wide receiver in space and you tackling him coming downfield. I would be more fearful of a running back such as a Christian McCaffrey or Alvin Kamara coming out of the backfield and in space coming downhill attacking me than I would be of a slot guy.
What do you think it is about the pass catching running backs? For a while there was, that third down back kind of served that role. Now it seems like guys are more well-rounded where it could be your feature back that's just as instrumental in the passing game as he is as a runner.
Well, I think the running back by committee, so many people was trying to do the running back by committee, and then all of a sudden you see, man, this guy is more valuable to be on the field than taking him off the field on any down. So it's just going back to having running backs that can do it all, which had been missing because everyone bought into the running back by committee idea, and we need a third down back, and we need a guy who can do this instead of forcing one guy to do everything. And, I think it's getting back to that. But you got backs that are so talented. When you look at Saquon, when you look at Christian, when you look at Alvin, these backs are so talented. Le'Veon, with the ball in hand, it doesn't matter how you get it to them. You just want to get the ball to them in space and allow them to create instead of trying to attack downfield. You miss a running back. The running back is the main person that make guys miss. Everyone gets excited about the slot, but the running back has always been the person that has to make people miss. And you're talking about these guys that's so slippery that one guy mess up and he creates an angle, it's off to the races. You see every week Christian McCaffrey has at least one 40-yard touchdown or more. That's crazy. That's insane. But it's because you're getting the ball in his hand early before defenses can respond, before defenses can collapse. He makes one guy miss, and now everybody has to get to a pursuit.
As a running back, do you like that where you're used as a receiver and a pass catcher, or do you have to work to make sure that you kind of pace yourself? What kind of a physical toll does it take when you're basically out there every single play instead of coming off on third down to get a breather?
What? You come off when you need a breather. You don't need a coach telling you, hey, it's your time to come out. This is a play for this guy. Like, no, you're not taking me out of the game. I come out when I'm tired, and then that guy gets his opportunity. But you're not taking me off the field because you feel like someone else is better at running this. I'm better at doing all of this. Whatever play is in the playbook, I even feel like as a running back, my confidence was I feel like I'm better at running a go route than the next man. Although we had great guys, Santana, when you think of Santana being outside, of course Santana is the best go route runner that we have. But at the same time, when you're a running back, you just have that belief or you want that responsibility that, hey, I can do it. Whatever it is, allow me to do it. And I think you see guys doing this now. When you look at when you look at these guys that's getting the ball in space, you don't have to worry about the wear and tear because you don't even get hit in football anymore. So the wear and tear was when you had to get 30 carries week in, week out, and you're banging with 300-pound linemen constantly, and linebackers are running full speed, getting a head start to come tackle you. Now you got so many guys that's working on the secondary. They're working against DBs. They're working against safeties. Like, you make that one guy miss, you're not taking the pounding. You're not taking the wear and tear. And at the end of the day, you still might have 24 or 25 touches. So I think it's totally different than what you look at a guy like Fred Taylor or LaDainian Tomlinson, Adrian James, or myself having to carry AP, a young AP, when you were getting the ball at least 20 times a game, and you knew you were getting the ball. So I think it's totally different.
Gotcha. Because, I'm looking here. You had your best year, 2007, you had 47 catches. Was that something you had to lobby for? And how badly would you like to play in today's game where you could have been used as an all-around weapon?
Well, I think I was used as an all-around weapon. It was just the fact that we didn't throw the ball as much. We knew our winning formula was, let's run the ball, let's come out, be consistent, and play good defense, and we're going to win a close game. We weren't into this blazing shootout where the game was going to be 35-31 or 42-37. Like, we weren't in those kind of games. We were in the kind of game that, hey, it's going to be 13-10 or it's going to be 7-3, and we're going to play hard, tough-nosed football and protect the ball and not give them short field and allow our defense to come out and play good defense. Now, every game is a shootout. When you look at teams, it's let me put up as many points as I can. You go back to Kyle Shanahan a few years ago when he had the opportunity to lead the Atlanta Falcons to a Super Bowl. If he just runs the ball in the second half, the New England Patriots don't have enough time to come back. But you allow the clock to stop because you're throwing incompletions. You want to run it up, and all of a sudden you make a mistake, and here come the Patriots. So, a lot of teams don't even use, you look around the college football landscape or the NFL landscape, teams don't even run the clock out. You used to play ball control, like, hey, you know what, we need 1 or 2 first downs, and we're going to run all the time off the clock. Teams would rather say, I don't care, we're going to go out and score. We're going to go out and put them in a situation where they got to stop us, they got to defend the entire time, and then you end up turning the ball back over or punting the ball off to the opposing team, and they come back and score a game-winning field goal or a game-winning touchdown when you could have kept the ball in hand and just ran the clock out.
Gotcha. So, do you think that when you look at these running backs here, the leaders like Dalvin Cook, Christian McCaffrey, Leonard Fournette, Josh Jacobs, Nick Chubb, all those guys, 800 yards rushing already. When you look at them, who's your favorite of those guys?
Man, I mean, Dalvin Cook is a special individual. Christian McCaffrey, all of those guys bring something totally different. Like, when I'm looking at Dalvin Cook play the game, the tough, hard-nosed, I've been watching Dalvin Cook since high school. So to see him get to the NFL and have this success isn't surprising to me. When you think of Dalvin Cook and Devontae Freeman in the same high school backfield, you're like, what the hell? That's no surprise. That's the competition. Christian McCaffrey, I'm a huge fan of Christian McCaffrey because I played with his dad, so I know what he's bred like. And, when I look at Alvin, it's just the playmaking ability. You look at Todd Gurley, who's not having his best season, but still, I'm saying overall work. Jacobs really surprised me. In the draft, I didn't, when the Raiders took Jacobs, I'm like, okay, another Alabama running back, but he's really surprised me, like his usage, his playmaking ability in space. So I've been excited about him. Like, I just love to see all of these guys. Come on, Kenyon Drake, I think he's going to be really good in the right offense. And that's the beauty of it, because a lot of these guys, a lot of people end up in situations that is not best suited for them. Like, this team offense isn't suited for this guy to have success. And everyone is trying to have this immaculate passing game and this sophisticated system, when sometimes you just need to line up and run gut and run stretch and run power and go back to the basics and allow a guy to make plays. Like, you don't have to scheme up this outstanding game plan when you can just go back to the basics because no one is filling gaps. Like linebackers aren't coming downhill and scraping and filling gaps and coming off double teams. Like they're finesse. They're in chase mode. So I would love to play against today's linebackers because no one is hidden. So, hey, I'm going to break 10 tackles, and you often see this. Christian McCaffrey break 5 tackles per 40-yard run, and tackling is horrible. So it's just the pursuit angles, the aggressiveness of a defense. Like, what defense do you look at in the NFL and say, oh, I'm fearful of this? Like, the defenses that's supposed to be the best are getting lit up outside of the San Francisco 49ers and the New England Patriots, and you can't name a linebacker on either of those squads. You can't name the linebacker that's wrecking havoc. It's just a good scheme. It's a good D-line that wrecks havoc, and then you got linebackers that come downhill, and they're sure tacklers. Whereas back in the day, you think about the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, the New York Jets, the Tampa Bay, even knowing they were running cover 2, or Seattle. Like, you had really good defenses. The Jaguars, the Vikings, like the list goes on. You talk about the New York Giants winning the Super Bowl with those ends and Strahan and Osi Umenyiora and Tuck. Like, bro, you got to have playmakers. And when you look around the league, it's only 2 teams that I would say those defenses are really legit. And that's the Patriots and the 49ers. Everybody else, week in, week out, hey, it's one week they look great, the next week they give up 600 yards.
Gotcha. So, for several years, teams have been hesitant to pay running backs. And we're starting to see some guys, Gurley got, a decent amount, of guaranteed money. Le'Veon Bell got some. The way guys are playing and the way that running backs are proving themselves to be more well-rounded and capable, what do you see as the future as far as the earning potential for the running back position?
Well, I think you have to pay these guys when you look at Zeke and what he brings to the table, the success, being able to have longevity or being able to be reliable for year in, year out. You see so many guys get paid off of one good year. I think guys who have multiple good years, because you're on the back end. You're not going to get, most running backs aren't going to get 10 to 15 years. They're going to play for 7 to 9 years. And, the good running backs, they're going to get 7 to 9 years. And in these 7 to 9 years, you already played 3 or 4 before you got a contract. So you're allowed to get you one good contract maybe. So that's where the issue comes in, because you're only getting one good contract as an elite dominant running back. So, you want to get paid early, you want to get your money and get out the way.
Gotcha. 2 guys that are not getting out of the way are Adrian Peterson and your guy Frank Gore. When you see those guys and what they're doing, what do you think?
I mean, I think it's excellent to see what AP and Frankie G is doing. Frankie G, man, about to be 3rd all the time. AP steady climbing the charts, steady climbing the list is crazy. So when you look at those guys, it just goes to show you, if you take care of yourself, if you go out and you protect yourself and you train in the off season, you can continue to do it. Just to have that want to for guys who have nothing to prove anymore is crazy to me, because those guys don't have anything to prove. If they stop now, they're already Hall of Famers. They're already in the top 10 rushing of all time. They're going to the Hall of Fame. But it's just that grit in those guys, that determination, that you know what, I want to go out and continue to dominate. I want to continue to climb the charts. And when you look at these guys, I don't even think it's about stats. I think they love the game that much. And if you talk to them, it's like, what else am I going to do? Like, I'm not ready to run chores every day. I'm not ready to pick the kids up from school. I'm not ready to take the trash out. Like, I'm going to continue to ride this until my time is up. And both of those guys are still doing it at a high level. And even, I think, when they stop performing at that level, just how much knowledge they bring to the game to mold a young back. When you look at Frankie G, having Singletary, who I think is going to be a really good back up at Buffalo. When you look at Frankie G, having him having the opportunity to mold him and get him a better understanding of being a complete back and what it takes to be in the NFL, I think you're going to see something special in the guys that come from under them. You look at AP, having Geis. I think AP eventually is going to be really good for Geis as well. So you just look at those guys as not only on the field, what they do for a locker room, what they do for the people in the locker room to see, hey, this guy is in the all-time, he's a future Hall of Famer, and he's still training and performing like this.
Well, CP, I really appreciate your insight, man. Thanks so much, and I'll be seeing you soon.
All right, man. Peace out.
All right. Hope you learned something there. Very interesting stuff. CP always brings it with the insight. A guy that I really would be interested to see how he would do in today's game. I know he would be productive. He was a guy who was, a great runner. They didn't use him as a pass catcher, as we discussed, but when they did, he was effective. He also was effective in pass protection. So I think he would be just fine today. But it's very interesting to see just the way that here we are, not even halfway through the season. We've got a number, basically halfway through the season, a little more than halfway. And we've got a number of running backs who are right there on that 1,000-yard, knocking on that door for 1,000 yards, which used to be, if you had that for a season, you'd be great. But teams are pounding the football more, and we're seeing that success. And now, Monday night game, Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers. That's where I'm going to be tonight. Going to be interesting to see how that one plays out. And interestingly enough, two teams that really believe in running the football. So, hey, yes, it's a passing league, but it's also a league where the top teams know how to run the football. It's going to be interesting to see, how this thing plays out and what the impact is for future seasons. Well, that's it for today. Going to talk to you again Thursday. Thanks again for checking out. If you are not already, download and subscribe. Please go to iTunes and give me a review, give me a rating, and tell your friends. Also, if you have any questions, you can email me at mjones@usatoday.com or hit me up on Twitter @ByMikeJones, and I will talk to you later this week. Thanks a lot.